Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be checking out the PN-W43 from BLAVOR. So if you're looking into getting like a personal emergency lantern with some additional bells and whistles like 2 USB-C ports and 2 USB-A ports and a wireless charger on top, you might want to check this out. Now, okay, first of all, like I said, it has a wireless charger on top, and that is a 15-watt fast charger. Under this waterproof flap right here, we have 2 USB-Cs and 2 USB-As. Now, these 2 USB-C ports, they can each handle an input and an output of 100 watts. And then these 2 USB-A ports can handle 15 watts of output. If you do plug in these 2 USB ports together, C1 will charge or discharge at 100 watts, and the C2 will discharge at 65 watts. There are also 3 buttons on the front and a little display. If you press this light button, it does turn on the light, and it turns on the display that shows you the percentage of the battery and how many hours you can expect of runtime. There are also 3 modes for the light: low, medium, and high. On the low setting, it does show a flicker, but that's only on my camera. It's a solid consistency of brightness from the actual unit. All right, this second button, this will turn on all of your USB ports right here. And again, it does show the percentage, the amount of battery hours left, and it shows 5.1 volts. When you plug in something to charge, it will show the amount of amps being drawn out and the total number of watts being drawn out. And then thirdly, if you press this little lightning button right here, it will switch on the wireless charger on the top. So there are separate buttons for the USB ports and the wireless charger on top. All right, and just so you know, I did do some testing on this unit, and first I ran the light on high from 100% to 0 just to see how many hours it would last. And it ran from 9 a.m. on Sunday morning to 6 p.m. Tuesday evening. That's 57 hours. So you'll get 57 hours of maximum light output from this unit. But secondly, I want to kind of test the USB outputs along with the wireless charger to see if I can charge up, over 100 watts of items. So let's go ahead and try it. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and plug in a device that can pull out 100 watts. Okay, so right now we are outputting 98.4 watts. Let's go ahead and plug in something else that's USB-C. And you can see on the screen that it switches between C1 and C2. So C2 is outputting 42.3 watts, and C1 is outputting 98.4 watts. Let's go ahead and see if we can turn on the wireless charger at the same time. All right, there we go, wireless charger. So now the wireless charger is working as well. So it looks like C2 has dropped down to 15.9 watts. And the display doesn't show the wireless charger at all. And I do see over here that it says 1%, which this thing was charged up all the way when I started it. And now I am charging with the C1, which is 98.5, with the C2 and the A2 at the bottom here. With the C2 and the A2 at the bottom, and you can see that it does show that they are both discharging, and it is maxing out at 15.9 watts as well. So if I unplug this C1, it looks like it kind of resets, and now it's back up to 15.9 from the C2 and the A2. Let's see what happens if I plug into the C1. So C1 jumps up to 44 watts, and then the A2 sits at 8.4 watts. But the thing that a lot of people would buy something like this for is for the lantern. So let's go ahead and turn off all the lights in this basement just so I can show you what you should expect from lighting. All right, so here is the lantern on low. And as you can see, I can see everything in the room. I mean, it's pretty dim, but it's pretty good for being on low. And so here is medium. Again, it gets brighter. I can easily see everything that's in my workshop. And when you put it on high, it's not as significant as it was from the low to the medium, but it is a very solid lantern. A lantern like this is invaluable when your power goes out. So if you're looking for an emergency lantern that can handle some wind and rain, you might want to look into this BLAVOR PN-W43. Like I said, it has a wireless charging pad on top, and it has 2 USB-Cs and 2 USB-As. When it comes to the light, it will light up the vicinity with absolutely no problem, and it will last for days. So that's really what I'm looking for in a lantern of this type. So if you have any questions about this lantern / power bank from BLAVOR, please leave it in the comments. I'll have a link to this item in my description, just in case you want to look further into it. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.